And
Yeah.
how, can you give us an example of how you blend the internal family systems with the modern group piece?
Yeah, I think that what was really interesting is I just recently, Elliot Zeisel was asked if, when I was talking about this and blending the two, he asked me like if I knew what modern group therapy meant, like what modern meant, and I had no idea. And all this time, and he said, well, modern group therapy is basically it's an evolving model that incorporates any technique that helps to resolve resistance. And I think that's why internal family systems and modern group therapy, or modern group therapy with any other technique that helps to understand and resolve resistance, is helpful. So I think it goes together because of how open the modern group technique is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, to incorporating other techniques.
Right. Looking for the things that work and
Yeah,
doing those things, and kind of developing technique around it.
that's
Absolutely.
right. Yeah. And also what both internal family systems and modern group therapy have in common is that they're both techniques that really value and respect and honor the defenses. Like
Right.
we have parts and defenses and resistances for a reason. And it's very important to join and understand and develop relationships with those resistances until the patient is ready to give them up.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that before, but I do think that's what spoke to me so much about IFS because I'd done all this training in modern group work, and the honoring of the defense and making sure that step doesn't get passed over, before of understanding all that it has done for us, right? All through the years. Oh, that's wonderful. I hadn't thought of that. Cool.
Yeah, and internal family systems has a really interesting way of providing a language and naming those, like what moderns call resistance, as parts. And to understand the history, each part has its own beliefs and feelings and the reasons and its job, like where it got this job. Like I started to intellectualize when I felt confused about what was happening. And this thinking part of me was a very acceptable way to connect, because I didn't know how to connect emotionally.
Right. Clever, helpful. Yeah, got the
Clever,
job.
helpful. Yeah, my family were, they were okay with it. And now as an adult, it's what the group training helps to do is people have reactions to that, because it is also now this part of me becomes a way of distancing and disconnecting or dealing with anxiety. And I can actually, using IFS, work with this part of me to ask it to give me some space and to trust that I can actually connect emotionally, and it's going to be okay, and that people are going to actually respond well to that. And others may be different from my parents, and they're not going to, judge me for having feelings the same way that,
Right.
that was judged when I was a child. So it's really very interesting. And I'm not sure, like, in terms of, in the 2-day training, I'll be teaching certain concepts that will help people understand how to use certain techniques of IFS in group.
Right.
But IFS is a 3-year program, and I don't expect for people, I think it's too much pressure to think that in 2 days that you'll understand the entire model. But hopefully it'll give people an understanding of how to see themselves and other people in group differently.
Absolutely. And a really good taste of what the language is around it and how you use it and some of the concepts. That'll be really helpful for people. I'm glad.